So dealing with the past and peace and reconciliation, the Attorney General suggested drawing a line under the past, and many young people are saying they're fed up with the amount of money and time spent on the issue. Is it time to move on, and if so, how?
I think it's important for society to move on, but you don't move on by leaving people behind and forgetting about them. I think we need to recognise that there's an awful lot of hurt and pain and suffering, that no one has a monopoly on it, and that a lot of people have felt pain and are grieving, and we need to listen to those people. Not just meet them for tea and coffee and wring our hands in sympathy and then not do anything or make false promises to them. But I don't think just drawing a line under it and forgetting about it is helpful.
Does your party support the Lord Chief Justice's plan for 54 Troubles Legacy inquests to be held in a 5-year time frame?
I think people deserve the truth, and they've been waiting a long, long time. I think it's quite unprecedented for Lord Chief Justice to have said what he did, and I think that he did because the situation is so grave. When we look at where money is spent by government, if there was a war called tomorrow, for example, there would be money found to arm people to go out to take other people's lives. So I don't think it's a big order to ask for money to get people the truth about what happened to their loved ones.
Given the Good Friday Agreement in many ways settled the border question and the mechanism around that, do you think Northern Ireland can move beyond political parties based on unionism and nationalism?
I'm very hopeful that people will be engaged around politics on issues like poverty, social justice. But we have to be honest with ourselves. Politics here still very much falls on an orange and green line. I think if you look at some of the party political broadcasts in this election alone, which has come about because of very issue-based reasons, parties are still trying to push sectarian and emotive buttons. So we have to face that reality. But I'm hopeful that the more people that step forward, the more that we focus in on issues like justice, on health, on education, then people will respond.
As a nationalist party, how do you reach out to, for example, left-leaning unionists, younger unionist voters?
Well, the SDLP, I think, has always been very sincere and genuine about reconciliation. For us, it's not a buzzword, okay? And we try to always demonstrate our values and our principles by what we do. And I think that was a tradition that was very evident in John Hume and Seamus Mallon. I think it's evident in a lot of our engagements across different faith sectors. For example, when I was Lord Mayor, I tried to make it, one of my priorities without being in people's faces. I would go out and reach into everyone that I could. So that's why I was very positive and really excited about hosting the lunch from the Queen. I'm not someone who believes in a monarchy because I believe everyone is equal, but I recognise that the Queen and the royal family are held in really high regard by so many people living in Belfast and Northern Ireland, and so out of respect for that, that's why I did that. I think it's more important that people just don't talk about reconciliation, but they demonstrate it through their actions. Because unfortunately in politics we have a lot of people who say, yes, we're for reconciliation, we're for genuine power sharing, but when you closely examine their actions, they're really anything but.
So maybe you partly answered this, but that's a key question for young people. How can reconciliation be achieved here?
Well, I think it's by your deeds. So you need to physically demonstrate. I'm a great believer that you lead by example. And so what we need to see is people in our political world showing the same generosity of spirit that we see right across our civic society. So it's about going to uncomfortable places. It's about going to events that are outside your comfort zone, but you recognise that they're important to other people. And for me, fundamentally, it's about trying to understand where people are coming from, people who have a different perspective from you, rather than just always surrounding yourself with people who are reinforcing your worldview.
Are you on Twitter, and if so, do you run your own Twitter account?
I am on Twitter. I went on Twitter for the very first time the night I became Lord Mayor, and I do manage it myself. I've always managed it myself. Part of it is control freakery, but part of it is also, I think you need to be genuine. When people contact you, they need to know that it's you that's contacted them back. I started a Facebook page there just about a fortnight ago, and again I manage that myself as well because I think it's important that people know that they're speaking to you.